If you have been living under a rock for the past few weeks, you have probably haven't heard about the recently announced Mario movie, and more particular, its teaser trailer that is releasing on October 5th. And I'm pretty surprised if you haven't learned about this yet, because many people are excited for this movie, mostly for how bad it's gonna be. Like, looking at the cast, you can definitely see why. Like Zach Platt as Bowser, Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi. This is literally the most meme cast of all time out of all of movie cinema. And due to that, many people are excited to see how much of a clusterfuck this movie's gonna be. But despite how many people, including me, expect this movie's gonna be a clusterfuck, no one's really explaining why this movie's gonna be a clusterfuck. Which kinda seems like something you should really talk about, like a second nature why this movie's gonna suck. But at the same time, I wanna talk about it, because of how big this teaser trailer is gonna be, I can definitely expect some people are gonna be surprised this at how bad this movie's gonna be. So in this video, I'm gonna get you prepared and talk about why the Mario movie is most likely gonna be bad. Maybe not as bad as other Mario movies that came before it, looking at you, but still bad nonetheless. So, this like what Luigi says in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate,
Let's go.
ever since the Mario movie was first announced a while ago, one of the biggest red flags was the fact this was being made by Illumination Studios. For the most part, Illumination's movies don't feel like actual movies. They feel like something that was made not by people, but instead by an AI, taking elements of already existing movies and utter appealing elements like cute animals, cute creatures, Facebook mom humor, alongside some other stuff kids would like, and turning it into a corporate mess. And during the times they don't make movies that don't seem like a corporate mess, they usually make something that is way worse. Take Dr. Seuss for example. Those movies got actually made by Illumination Studios, particularly The Grinch and The Lorax, both being really disrespectful movies based on the source material, especially The Lorax. Like, have you seen what they did in the ad department? Like, the fact that nobody looked at this and realized the irony honestly makes me laugh. And it just shows how much Illumination doesn't care about their movies. They only see it as a way to make money and not as art. And if them making Mario movie being their third movie that is based on an already existing franchise, it is very likely they're gonna be following the same strategy. And sadly, no one's gonna stop them from doing that.
But I'm not done yet!
Illumination isn't the only problem, because even if everybody's talking about how Illumination is the main problem, there is also another problem as well, maybe even worse than Illumination themselves. That being Nintendo as well. Nintendo has always been infamous for being very protective of the Mario brand, in many ways in fact, but the most biggest reason why they're so protective of the Mario brand in their own company buildings is when it comes down to Mario's story. Because it feels like that ever since the Wii era, Nintendo has been more and more protective of any creative stories coming out of the Mario universe. And every single time there is some creativity that comes out of the story, there's usually a lot of setback and removal of content that follows as well. Take Paper Mario for example. Back then, Paper Mario was the top dog when it came down to stories not only from the Mario franchise, but also Nintendo franchises in general. When Paper Mario Sticker Star was coming around the corner, when Nintendo looked at the game midway through development, they thought, hey, that's a little bit too off the Mario brand, and it decided to remove everything that made the game unique, with Miyamoto even saying to only stick to characters and enemies from Super Mario World, which of course led to the basic enemy and Toad selection that we see in the game today. and this side effect of Paper Mario Sticker Star and Nintendo's removal of content when it came down to story still exists today, with Paper Mario not being able to even modify pre-existing characters as is recently, which is shown off during an interview of Paper Mario the Origami King. And Paper Mario isn't the only example of this. Even mainline Mario games like Mario Galaxy 1 and Mario Galaxy 2 had a lot of pushback when it came down to including story. This can be seen heavily with Mario Galaxy 2, with Miyamoto actually trying to remove the Rosalina storybook cutscenes from the game. Yup, that's right, a simple optional feature which only brought more positivity to the game was almost removed by Miyamoto. Of course, that didn't happen, but it still is a very petty reason either way. And when Super Mario Galaxy 2 came around, Miyamoto pretty much got the bad ending, not only removing the possibility of Donkey Kong and Pikmin appearing in the game through planets, but also removing the story, making it more like an everyday new Super Mario Bros. Game rather than something more cinematic, similar to the first Mario Galaxy. And those are only known examples. Looking at how there are many Mario games that are very basic when it comes down to story, it is very likely there are many other Mario games that also had the same fate of being toned down in story due to Nintendo's and Miyamoto's meddling. Which puts a very bleak image for the Mario movie, because if Nintendo is going to be supervising this movie a lot, which they probably are, it means that very unique ideas or some creativity that could come from the movie may most likely get removed by Nintendo due to the fact that it's not fully on brand with the Mario IP, which will do a very huge effect when it comes down to the movie overall quality. Okay, this is the most memeable / opinionated part of the entire video, because looking at the cast, it is definitely very easy to say that the cast sucks, like many other people said. And even though I do feel like the undid a problem with the cast, I don't feel like it's really the cast members' fault. Everyone who is actually in this movie cast is very talented. And if this was a different movie, or even a different movie based on a different video game franchise, I would be very excited, because all the people here have been shown to have great talent in the movies and TV shows they appear in. The problem is, this isn't an ordinary movie, or even a video game movie with characters who have histories of talking. This is a Mario movie, and in a Mario movie, there are not really that many characters who really talk in full phrases, especially the main cast. Even with the pre-established voice actors, they only really say a few phrases here and there, which will definitely make the cast feel somewhat uncanny when we watch it due to the fact these characters were never really meant to talk, especially in long phrases like this movie will most likely deliver. And that's the end of the video. I know this video isn't fully fact, no cap. Maybe Nintendo and Illumination could do the impossible, and maybe can make a great movie. But overall, looking at Nintendo, Illumination, and the cast, I overall feel like it's more likely that this movie will most likely suck than anything else, or at very best, be very sloppy and mediocre.